What's good, YouTube? It's your boy D-Riv. Hey, today we're gonna be reacting to who is gonna be WWE's next top star. Right at the gate, we're probably gonna think like Braun Breaker or Austin Theory, you know, somebody like that. Hayes, I forgot his name. Can't think of his name right now, but Hayes, the light skinned dude, bro. Him. Anyway, first time coming to the channel, make sure I go to click the thumbs up and also subscribe, because I know you don't. So just subscribe. I'm almost at 3,000 subscribers, so please just subscribe. Without further ado, bruh, all the predictions. Who's gonna be the man in the future? I'm thinking Theory. I think Theory has it, bro. I don't know what it is. A lot of people don't like Theory, but for some reason I like Theory. Like Theory, I like him, bro. I like him. I don't know what it is.
Next, and who would find it? 20 years ago, an influx of talent was welcomed into the WWE. You had the OVW4 with Cena, Brock, Orton, and Batista. Guys like Edge, Mysterio, Eddie, and RVD were made into premier stars. They all helped to find the Ruthless Aggression era, and it's arguable that WWE hasn't developed talents of that caliber since. After this, we moved into the next generation, where Roman Reigns was and still very much so the centerpiece of the brand. But slowly the old guard is leaving, and it's time for WWE to stock the cupboard and build
Yeah,
some pillars of the future.
they need
Of
some
course,
new
in
some new
WWE, there's
stars.
no such thing as can't miss. But the prospects that WWE currently have are something to be excited about. So, who are the people to keep your eye on? Well, the conversation of the next generation begins with a man named Braun Breaker, who's only 24 years old and he's taken
He's
to wrestling like it's
24.
nothing. From the moment that NXT shifted.
He's only 24. I did not know Braun Breaker was only 24. Dude, I need to step my game up, bro. Like, I would love to be a wrestler one day, but like, the way my path is going right now, I can't do it right now. But hopefully, one day, I get the opportunity. Hopefully, y'all keep subscribing. My name gets more out there, and that dream could come true. Dude is about the same age as me. I didn't know that. I thought he was like 27. Hmm.
Its focus from a super indie to developmental again, he's been the guy. But what makes him so special? Well, he has the size of a WWE superstar, and on the mic, he's not the guy who's gonna give you a heartfelt and sappy promo, but there's some major parallels to a guy like Goldberg and of course the Steiners when it comes to style and delivery. Promos sound intimidating, they sound intense, and for the look, they fit perfectly. Then you get to arguably his best skill, and that's his in-ring acumen. Braun started wrestling in October of 2020, and by February of 2021, he was announced as a WWE PC recruit. And as you watch him
But
develop,
how old was
whenever
he
you
in
see Braun
this?
in the ring, he adds something new.
Well,
Be
in
it a
that
top
picture.
rope dive, a Rana, a power move, even if it's minor, every time you watch him, you see development. The reason he's developing so quick is because the dude is a complete workhorse. I went back and I did some digging, and football coaches have raved about his work ethic. You look at his football highlights with Kennesaw State, and you see a guy who looks for contact. He's always doing something, always making a big play, and that work ethic has
He was a
carried over to
fullback.
WWE. Also, this isn't a case of a guy who, when football didn't work out, he went, screw it, I'll go chase the bag in WWE. No, that's not the case. Even when he was playing football and trying to get to the big leagues, he's been quoted saying that he was going to do football for as long as possible and then enter the family business. He genuinely enjoys this, and after getting cut by the Baltimore Ravens in 2020, he did just that. He's a 2016 Georgia State Wrestling champion, so he's not new to this by any means. And of course, how could I forget? He's the son of Rick Steiner and nephew of Scott Steiner. So he's got the family pedigree in the business. And if all things go according to plan, WWE is going to be Braun's company moving forward. Complete genetic freak, the athleticism, the work ethic. He's just got the whole package. I love what they've done with him. He feels like a star already. If there's a dude to keep your eye on in NXT and always seek out, it's him. Can't talk about
Yeah,
stars without mentioning a dude who has that written all over him, and that is Carmelo
yeah.
Hayes.
This is who I was talking
Some of
about.
you guys might
Hayes.
recall seeing him as Christian Casanova on the Indies, and compared to a guy like Braun Breaker, he's much more well-rounded when it comes to in-ring and promos. He's been doing it for 6+ years, so that's an added bonus. The best way I can describe Carmelo Hayes is a hybrid of Seth Rollins and MVP with the charisma and on-screen presence of John Cena. His character.
Whoa! Did y'all hear that comparison? Seth Rollins mixed with some MVP and Cena. How y'all feel about that? Is that a W assessment? Hold on, bro. I've seen a little bit of him, but I didn't see no Seth Rollins. I mean, I seen he was pretty good. I seen when he fought Ricochet for the UK title. Wait, was it UK title? I don't remember. North American Championship. Dang, I can't
So
think of
that's
it,
an
bro.
added bonus.
Can't think of none of the
Best way
NXT
I can
stuff.
describe Carmelo Hayes is a hybrid of Seth Rollins and MVP with the charisma and on-screen presence of John Cena.
Wow.
His character work is what makes him so special. The way he talks, the confidence, the creative offense, the way he's able to get an audience behind and against him and play both sides. That's huge. If you're versatile, you're gonna succeed because you can slot in anywhere on the card. Also with him, I think when he moves over to the main roster, he's gonna resonate a ton with the younger audience. He's got those pop culture references.
And he gives me Ricochet vibes. I mean, y'all might not agree, but for me, he gives me Ricochet vibes with a little bit more though. So I feel like if he goes to the main roster, at least right now, they'll probably treat him like Ricochet. That's how I feel. I don't know how y'all feel, but right now, if he goes to the roster, like if he went to the roster today, I feel like they would treat him like they're treating Ricochet.
In there, his overall likability and presentation is
Because
also
him and Ricochet put on the
with him.
show.
Trick Williams is another ex-football player out of South Carolina. I love the fact that he just adjusted his legal name and called himself Trick. But man, since coming in, he's adapted very well. He's smooth in the ring. He's nothing too fancy. Carmelo is for sure the better one. But where he shines is the mic work. The subtle little jabs. He's got the comedic timing down to a T. His play on words is well done. And him and Hayes as a package deal is a big win for the WWE. Definitely A grade stars for WWE down the line. From A grade to A Town, we gotta put Austin Theory into this mix.
A-Town
Vince
down.
McMahon is basically telling the entire world that you're his chosen one, that you're the guy he sees potential in. There's nothing more reassuring than that. Theory's got it all. He has the look of a top star. He has age on his side. He can work. The craziest part of all is that he's been doing it since 2016 and he's still only 24. The only thing that, in my opinion, needs to be fixed is the selfie gimmick, but of course, there's time for that. I saw a report saying that Vince McMahon sees him as the next John Cena. Let's cool it there, Vince. That's a pretty high bar, but we'll see. He honestly is a 5-tool player for the company, and when you're able to be that utility knife sort of deal where you can adapt to different situations, be plugged throughout the show and card, you're going to succeed, and Theory has that figured out. You look at one of the most successfully tenured WWE superstars ever in Randy Orton, it's the adaptability and talent to be in different parts of the show that's helped his longevity. A lot of that is in Theory as well. Another face of the future is Gable Steveson. He's an Olympic gold medalist in wrestling out of the University.
He's only 21? I did not know he was 21. I was about to say I've been waiting to see Gable Stevenson perform. We seen him with Kurt Angle, like, what, last week? I was just about to say I'm ready to see him perform. And then I see he's only 21. I didn't know he was 20. I honestly didn't know he was only 21. It's probably gonna be a while because they usually don't put people out that early. That's that young. He doesn't look 21 though. He looks like he's about 24, 25. But wow.
Of Minnesota, kind of like another big WWE star. So he's got the amateur wrestling background, and the parallels with a guy like Brock Lesnar and even Kurt Angle are very similar based on the resume and the path taken to WWE. Of course, we're still to see him in a WWE ring, but if the company has proven anything, it's that they see him as a poster child of the future. Every opportunity that's presented them, WWE has gone on record to showcase Gable in one way or another. His name has notoriety, having represented the US at the Olympics. He's a two-time NCAA Division I national champion. The pure raw skill is there, and simply put, he's one of the most successful and dominant collegiate wrestlers ever. So with that fighting background, again, age on his side, he's going to be a pillar for WWE for years to come. Also, WWE has his brother Bobby Stevenson signed. He's going under the ring name Damon Kemp, another collegiate wrestler with great raw power, size, and intensity. So if they want to do something down the line with those two, then it's right in front of them. Another pair of brothers to keep your eyes on is Brutus and Julius, the Creed brothers. And when it comes to tag team wrestling, if we're going to project towards the future, then they're basically being groomed to be the flag bearers of that division moving forward.
I have seen them
Julius
before.
was scouted in 2018 at the NCAA Division I Wrestling Championships, with his brother getting a contract afterwards. And on NXT, they've been catapulted into a top position. and they've been developing very quickly when it comes to in-ring work and chemistry. I'm also going to give a quick mention to Harland as well. I know upon first look, a lot of us thought that Parker Boudreaux was going to be the next Brock Lesnar.
He's 24.
Just haven't clicked
You don't
yet.
look 24.
He's only 24,
bro.
and if they can get rid of the pretty stupid gimmick, he can become one of the monsters of WWE forward because he just has that rugged look and size to him. Another guy who's in that same boat where the gimmick needs to be scrapped
Butch.
is Butch,
Butch,
or
bro.
as we once called
Pete
him,
Dunne.
Pete Dunne. In NXT, Pete Dunne was always one of those guys who you could throw into any situation and he would do well. His pedigree outside of WWE is strong. His offense, when given time to shine, differentiates him from others. And again, he's still pretty young. Granted, not exactly the guy you would think is going to be world champion, but let's be honest, you don't always have
Pete
to
Dunne
be
is
a
good,
world
bro.
champion to have a successful WWE career. And then you come to a dude who I think can
Montez
become a world
Ford.
champion, and that is Montez Ford. If you follow me on Twitter, if you follow this account for any period of time, you know that I've supported this dude more than his own wife. He has every tool imaginable to be the face of WWE, and I genuinely think that. His offense, his mannerisms, the facial expressions, the way he's able to get people invested in what he does, the beautiful in-ring work, the amazing frogs.
I can see him as a world champion, but I don't see him being like the face for years to come. I can definitely see him winning the title a couple of times. I could definitely see that. But I don't see him being like the top guy, kind of like how Roman is right now. I don't see him doing that. So, but Montez Ford, that's pretty good. That's pretty good pick.
Flash. He has the personality, he's got the comedic timing down. Some people just have it figured out, and he does. He's got star written all over him, and people always talk about the it factor. He has that in spades. Charisma, the explosiveness, and if you wanted to do a power trip with Bianca and Montez, that could also work too. I might get in some trouble for putting this on the screen, but you know who he low-key kind of reminds me of? Yeah, The Rock. And the more you watch him, the more you listen to him, the more you start to see those parallels. Speaking of,
Do y'all agree with that? The Rock? I don't see it.
Samoans, Solo Sikoa. That's
Solo's definitely. He's 29. I thought Solo was like 25. See, that's what I'm saying, bro. Ain't no way these people be these ages, bro. Braun Breaker's 24 and Solo's 29. So how old are the Usos? Like 40? 37? Like how old are the Usos at this point? I like Solo though. Solo definitely is gonna be a top name. He's gonna churn on the bloodline. He's gonna be a top name.
WWE like it's nothing. I actually don't know why he's not already on the main roster. He has the look.
Wait,
he's a safe worker.
he is on the main
he's got
roster.
The character
When
worked
was
down
this
pretty
video
well,
made?
And if the opportunity should present itself to run a bloodline story or even have an internal war between the group, easily the missing piece is Solo. You could even have him be the one to overthrow the entire group if he wanted to. His biggest advantage isn't the age, isn't the look, but rather the name. Being the Usos' brother, the potential to what Solo can do is really limitless. The thing for him is, how does he move over to the main roster and find that balance of saying that, yeah, I'm an Uso, but at the same time carving out his own niche so he's not always lumped in with a tag team. I'm going to stay on the family tab real quick. Dom Mysterio is very much a long-term project for the WWE. He's been on WWE TV consistently since the tail end of 2019, and he's in this really weird place. Like, he really hasn't taken that next step. It almost feels like he's regressed, if I'm being honest, and momentum has cooled.
Man, hold on, bro. How old is this? 7 months? Okay, so he wasn't even in the Judgment Day when this video was made.
I don't know exactly what it is with him, but something just isn't hitting. I think it could be something to do with him coming in a little bit too soon and not being ready. I think a trip down to NXT and kind of honing in on that character side of things could really benefit him. He's still only 25. He has his dad around, but the development just hasn't been there. He's got to come into his own without his dad and become his own character. Low-key, 2005 Dominic Mysterio has been better than 2022 Dominic Mysterio.
Oh, that's
Another guy I
disrespectful.
quickly want to touch on is Santos Escobar, and while he's not as young as some of the other people I'm talking about, he has that star presence. The best way I can describe this to you is Santos Escobar is basically everything WWE
Oh,
is
somebody
missing
just
in
subscribed.
Andrade. The character has more upside if you have him mix things up with Ray, maybe even form a stable with him, and then slowly break it up and make Santos a star. You're set. Von Wagner, he's really tall. Zion Quinn has a lot of the big look that Vince McMahon likes. Could slot in well as an enforcer type or mid card talent. Cameron Grimes, Tony D'Angelo, and Grayson Waller all have the sports entertainment side of things figured out really well down in NXT. When it comes to character work and getting those reactions from the crowd, all three are very entertaining. And if you were to call up any three of those guys right now, they would fit in perfectly on Raw or SmackDown. Nathan Frazier, formerly Ben Carter, was trained by Seth Rollins. He's had some standout performances while also getting some high praise from
Trained by Seth
Rollins.
Rollins.
Could beat something there. Riddick
Ooh.
Moss and Gunther also getting some high. Ben Carter was trained by Seth Rollins. He's had some standout performances while also getting some high praise for Rollins. Could beat something there. Riddick Moss and Gunther are also guys that they can really do something with because both of them have the raw power. Of course, Walter, even without WWE, was one of the biggest names in pro wrestling.
Gunther is
Riddick
definitely
Moss, looking back
Gunther
at
is definitely gonna be
WWE
a top
combine
guy.
stats, they're insane. He was top 5 in every category back in 2019, and higher ups were really high on his potential with WWE, but it still just hasn't come together yet. Shifting gears to the women, when you look to women, NXT has been built on the foundation of toxic attraction. Starting with Mandy Rose, who
Well,
is completely
Mandy's fired now, so she's out of the picture. She just got fired, so she's out of the picture. I
from the
might as well
last
skip
time Raw
her.
and SmackDown audiences saw her. Got the character work down, and it really feels like when WWE signed Mandy out of Tough Enough, this is what they wanted her to be. It's taken some time, but for sure you're gonna see this face plastered all over the women's division when she makes it back to the main roster.
She ain't making it
With
to
her
the main
could be
roster.
coming
She's
Gigi
fired.
Dolan and JC Jane, who are both 24 and 25 respectively. Those two have done some great work down in NXT, and I'd say out of all three of these women, Gigi is definitely the one who shines more when it comes to charisma and personality. So you should keep your eyes on them. Cora Jade is another name in this conversation of people who might, and underline that word,
21?
might carry the main roster forward.
AJ Lee
Still
comparison?
very
I
green
can
in
see it.
terms of the promo and character side of things. The offense kind of reminds you a little bit of an AJ and Paige combination. Again, another star who's really young at 21, hasn't been doing this too long, so time's on her side. But from what I've seen of her, she's pretty good in the ring. She's someone who's easy to get behind as a babyface, but still a lot more seasoning is needed. Another women's star with big time upside is Indy Hartwell, and the upside is in the personality, which is huge in WWE. Her versatility has been on full display in NXT, and she can do a little bit of everything. In the ring, she's great. Outside of it, she's entertaining. She's one of those people who, when you're done watching, you remember the name. Much like her is Tiffany Stratton, who's
Hold
a
on.
bodybuilder with
Is she really with Dexter Loomis? Ain't no way he got her.
watching, you remember the name. Much like her is
He
Tiffany
just seems so
Stratton, who's a
weird.
bodybuilder with a
He seems
background in
weird. He might not
gymnastics.
be weird in
And
real
at
life, but he
first,
seems
the
weird.
daddy's girl gimmick seemed corny as hell, but she's made it work. Since her debut, she's improved in the ring at a pretty steady pace. And if I were to give a comparable in terms of athleticism, I'd say she's a combo of Charlotte and Alexa Bliss.
I can see
Definitely
Charlotte.
has
She
the
looks
look
like
and
Charlotte a little
athletic
bit.
acumen to go far in WWE. Ivy Nile is another name that's got a pretty special look to her.
Whoa.
She really stands out. Not as complete, I'll say, as some of the other women's
She looks like Ronda Rousey. Like a Beth Phoenix Ronda Rousey mix. Or am I tripping? I know I'm not tripping. She look like a mix of Beth Phoenix and Ronda Rousey.
special look to her. She really stands out. Not as complete, I'll say, as some of the other women's competitors. Roxy was a big signing for WWE. She's the first ever ROH Women's World
20
Champion.
years old?
Trained at Booker T's school. And I mean, she's 20 years old, already has 4 years of pro experience now with the WWE. Taking that next step is going to be huge. In ring, she's a ton of fun to watch. The offense is innovative. Her ring skills, selling, and mannerisms are strong, and she's very likable. The sky truly is the limit for her. And then there's people who haven't yet appeared on WWE.
That's
programming.
crazy.
Bianca Corelli is a name.
Does anybody ever notice, like, it's usually the people that takes the pictures with the superstars, they always end up, like, famous? I'm just saying, we'll get back to that. I'll show you in a second.
There's people who haven't yet appeared on WWE programming. Bianca Corelli is a name you're probably going to want to watch. That's the daughter of Santino Marella. He's had some really high praise for her, talking about how she's going to be a top star. She has a background in MMA with a focus on jiu-jitsu. Simone Johnson is the first ever fourth generation
That's The Rock's daughter
in the WWE. And if you haven't realized who that is, that's The Rock's daughter. She's been training since 2020 and also gone out of her way to say that she doesn't want anything handed to her because of her dad's name. So again, we'll see what she can do. And that's kind of my little scouting report on what's coming up for the WWE. I started off by talking about the future and how it's always looked forward to. There is a ton in the pipes for WWE, but what does it all come down to? Booking. It's all booking. You gotta develop and set your talent up for success and then help them take that next step. Look, I could sit here and I could tell you that Braun Breaker is a star all I want. Vince could call him up, decide, no, that's not my next top star. Dress him up in a bunny costume, call him Brawny Bunny, and it's wraps. You never know.
I remember I said when you take people, they usually take pictures with like celebrities and stuff. You'll never believe this. Seth freaking Rollins. So if y'all see me one day out here, y'all gonna see this picture too.
Here's another thing I want to touch on before I end this, and that is that NXT 2.0 is actually developing talent. A little while ago, a lot of people were upset with the change of NXT, but now it's been given time to breathe, characters have developed, and it's working. I watched NXT like a nut job, I barely ever missed it, but me as a hardcore fan, I can confidently say that it became a parody of itself. Now NXT gives off a very similar vibe to FCW. Today's generation
look at Big
went
E.
through FCW, and it wasn't just that. It was refs, it was announcers, and everything in between. We've seen what OVW did, we've seen what FCW did, and now NXT is back to being a developmental. And they're not just developing people who are decent in the ring, but they're developing sports entertainers, which in Vince McMahon's WWE is very important. Brock Lesnar said it really well. Someone needs to step up, get over, figure out how to put asses in seats and not worry about your next high spot. Being able to do high spots is amazing, but I gotta agree with Brock. If you can find your niche, if you can connect with WWE's global audience in a way that's larger than just spamming dangerous moves, destroyers, that's gonna help you be a long tenured star.
People do a lot of destroyers
Draw
these
money for
days.
the company, but be a premier face of it too. They'll always want those gimmicks or that face that can appeal to non-wrestling fans. As for what's coming, there's a lot to look forward to. The biggest stars in terms of pure potential and later crossover appeal, in my opinion, are Braun Breaker, Theory, Carmelo Hayes, Montez Ford, and Gable Steveson. But
I definitely see the Theory, Braun Breaker, Gable Steveson thing. Let me know who y'all think is the future of WWE. I personally think it's gonna be Theory, but that's just my opinion. Y'all got y'all opinions, so I'm curious to know what y'all say. But hey man, first time to the channel, make sure I go to hit that subscribe button and click the thumbs up. But without further ado, like the video, subscribe if you're new. It's your boy D-Rib, man. I'm out.